Well, everybody, we are back here with another video on the brand new update for the Hunter Call of the Wild. Once again, thank you to EW for the early access, if you will. We're going to be checking out all of the animals that had their classes changed in this update. And if you couldn't tell by the fact that we're hunting nighttime on Silver Ridge, we're starting out with the pronghorn. But I spotted some mule deer as we were looking for them, so we're going to try and catch up to one of these mule deer first because they also got their class changed. Okay, we're finally getting the attention of one of these mule deer. I'm really hoping that we'll actually be able to take one of these down. And we're also going to have to try and remember what guns I can even take them with right now. I think the 4570 is one that I can take them with. So we're going to use that if we can. And honestly, it's perfect because this is one of the brand new guns. So there we go. Finally. He's finally going alert. Let's get ready. That is going to be the end of him. Absolutely destroyed him with the single shot 4570. Wow. You know, it's going to be interesting hunting some of these animals with different guns. Now, this isn't one of those animals that's really going to have too many new guns that you can use on them. There's going to be some further down in the list that are a bit more notable, but mule deer, they're pretty much going to be the same. People are still going to use the 4 to 8 class rifles on them. So nothing really too substantially different with them going from class 6 down to class 5. But now that we have killed off the mule deer, let's go ahead and cross that off the list of the animals that we need to take down today. As we hunt each of these animals, we are going to check them off the list so I don't lose count of how many of them we've actually took down, because there's a lot of them. This list is massive. Oh, there we go. That's what we needed. This is probably one of the most controversial changes that they made with all of these different class changes. And I personally am not a massive fan of this one myself. I don't think it made as much sense as some of the other changes that they made. There's definitely some of them that were really good. This one, though, not necessarily, because now the strongest rifle that you can use on a pronghorn is the Mosin. If you're not using the Mosin, you're going to be using the 243 or the 223 or the 22-250. And yeah, that's just not ideal. That is not ideal at all. This is definitely my least favorite change they made. Let's see if we can get this guy to notice that we're here. And there we go. Let's see if we actually got a shot into her. No, no, we did not get vitals there. Well, back to the drawing board. Luckily, there's a bunch of pronghorn right over there. Take 2 on taking down a pronghorn. Yep, that's going to do it. I mean, the Mosin does fine on them. It's not going to be a massive difference in kill time, but the problem comes when you try to use any of the other guns that are going to be like usable rifles for the pronghorn. And in fact, we're going to use one very soon that kind of like that. Oh, wait, I was completely wrong. Wait a second. We actually did kill the first pronghorn. She's right here. How come I did not realize that we actually killed her? And that right there is going to check the pronghorn off the list as well. So we've already removed 2 of them from this. We got a lot more to go, though. All right, let's see how this goes. That should be at least 1 vital hit out of those 2, I would imagine. Yep, there we go. It's losing health, but you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. 223 is not doing super great on it, and the 243 is going to be about in the middle of what this did and what the Mosin was able to do. So you can see why pronghorn at level or at a class 3 isn't the best change they made out of all of these. This is the one I saw the most complaints about in the comments section by far. So this is the next species that saw some class changes with this update. And they have been moved from class 4 to class 5. This is the bighorn sheep. We're going to go ahead and shoot one of these with the 4570 like we did on the mule deer. And man, just absolutely dropped it. So yeah, this thing got absolutely folded in place. And yeah, 45. Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a second. Do I have the wrong ammo equipped for 4570? I might, because that was barely any penetration. Either way, though, we just checked that off the list, so let's get rid of bighorn sheep. Okay, so I did have the correct bullets for the 4570. I had the flat nose soft points or whatever it is. These are the hollow points in here. Wow, that's kind of crazy that it only had that much penetration. That's a little bit concerning, not going to lie. But the next animal that got a class change is the Rocky Mountain elk, and if I'm being honest, I don't think this is going to make too much of a difference. aside from the fact that you can now use the Mosin on elk if you want. But other than that, it really doesn't change anything in terms of what guns you're going to use. They're still going to be within the 7 to 9 range where you can use 300, 338, etc. So there is our elk. Let's take a look at the damage. And of course, it did insane. As we already know, the 300 AR is a monster in the brand new weapon pack. But yeah, Class 7 elk, not too much of a difference between what they used to be and what they are now, aside from the fact that we can now use the Mosin on them. That's really the only difference. Maybe there's a difference in, like, what shotgun rounds you can use on them, but I haven't really looked deep into that yet. Let's go ahead and check the Rocky Mountain elk off the list real quick and move on to the next one. There is the next animal that we're actually going to take a shot at, and they actually have another change aside from being moved down to Class 2. The Bobcat has been made a lot lighter weight than it used to be, if you couldn't already tell by the estimate here. They used to weigh the exact same as the Lynx, now they weigh substantially less. So this is going to be probably the biggest change out of all of them. There we go, a shot with the 223. Let's hope that I actually got vitals. It doesn't look like I did, which is a little bit unfortunate. Let's just, one more shot. There we go, it's going down. Second shot was good. First one was a little bit rough. All right, well, that is vital blood, so we did hit this guy vitally. Let's see the damage. We were a little low on the first shot. Second shot was really good, actually. That was actually kind of a crazy shot to take for a moving shot. But as you can see, 12.10 kgs as a level 6. These guys are a lot smaller than they used to be. And, I mean, going down from Class 3 to Class 2 doesn't really change too much in terms of the guns that you're going to use, aside from the fact that you can now use the 22 Hornet on them, which that's going to be pretty fun. I do like the 22 Hornet. It's a very unique weapon, being a Class 1 to 2 rifle, and now you can use it on them and get full scores, so that's kind of cool. Well, let's go ahead and cross off the Mexican Bobcat. We've got the regular Bobcat on here as well, but that's technically the same animal, so I mean, I could just cross that off, but I guess to stick to the video title of hunting all 18 of the changed species, we're going to go ahead and go find one of those on New England eventually as well. So out of all of the changes, this is the one that makes the most sense. Collared peccary are now a Class 3 instead of a Class 4, which I think really needed to happen because these things are one of the weakest animals in the entire game, and it made no sense for them to have the Class 4 on them. I mean, even at Class 3, pretty much all the weapons that you can use on them are going to do quite well. And I see that peccary are still bugged when they're near water and you shoot them. That was a 223, by the way, and you can see the health is going down pretty quick for a 223. So there we have it, our collared peccary. That is a single lung shot from the 223, and it died pretty quick for being shot by a 223. So you can see why these probably did need to be moved down to Class 3, because Class 4, being able to use stuff like the M1, the 308AR, the 303, and other guns that are similar on them was just, it was overkill. It was major overkill. So I am actually pretty happy with this change right here. Now let's go ahead and cross the collared peccary off of the list, and that makes it so that we have killed a total of 6 animals as of now. Now this one right here is another one that is a good change, saltwater crocodiles to Class 8. Because it does make sense that because of how tough they are, that they would be a higher class than what they were previously. They were Class 7, now they're Class 8. It doesn't change any of the guns that you can use on them, aside from maybe a couple of shotguns, but it makes it a little bit more in line with what a lot of people felt they should be, so I think this is a great change. There's our crocodile. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Level 5, we got a good shot on it, and then made a second shot to kind of take it down a little bit faster. Uh-oh. Holy crap, we're being attacked. The 300 AR is going to be a lifesaver against these saltwater crocodiles. Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't get a chance to do it because we got attacked, so let's go ahead and pop up the checklist, and let's cross off the saltwater crocodile from the list. Oh my gosh, are you joking? There's a level 9 kangaroo there. You, sir, are not part of this video. You're not part of this video. Well, I'm going to have to save that guy for another video, I suppose. I just grabbed their zone back here, so I know where to look at least. That's crazy. Just a level 9 legendary kangaroo. You know what? I think I'll probably end up just making a short of me killing this guy with the brand new 4570 handgun or the brand new 10 gauge. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Who knows? Maybe I'll already have it uploaded by now if I did decide to do it. There we go. That is our next target right there. The feral pig. These guys got a change as well. They are no longer a class 4 animal. They are a class 5 animal, which I do think probably fits them decently well. Though I don't think it was a necessary change per se, it's one where I'm not too mad about it. Class 5 pigs, fine. That's perfectly fine. At least this means we can now use the drilling rifle on them. That will be pretty fun to take on pigs with the drilling rifle. So now that we killed that one, let's go ahead and check it off. Feral pig off the board, which means we have 2 more animals we can take down on Emerald. The Rusa deer and then also the Sambar deer. So let's go do that and then we'll have to move to another map. Okay, so there is our next target, the Javan Rusa. This is an animal that was class 6, but is now a class 5. So let's move up a little bit, try to get their attention. And actually, that one's not sprinting, so we can just take a shot at her. Yeah, they definitely did need to be bumped down because the Rusa deer is not a super strong deer. They die relatively easily. Man, once we got over to Emerald Coast, we're just checking these animals off the list like crazy. So let's go ahead and remove another one, the Javan Rusa deer. We got a pretty good streak up top here. We're still missing the wild boar, gray wolf, Iberian wolf, Gemsbok, Sambar, Roosevelt elk, American alligator, and grizzly bear. Well, there we have it. There is some Sambar deer, probably one of the most controversial changes of this entire little update. There have been a lot of differing opinions on the Sambar deer being changed to a class 7 animal. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, this is pretty realistic. I mean, they're much heavier than red deer, so they should be a class 7. Then you have other people like myself who are thinking, these things die so much faster than a red deer does. So the fact that we can now use a 300 Magnum on them, it almost doesn't seem fair. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. This is a level 1 female, and yeah, it's going down pretty quick. Yeah, it's it's not even fair. These things do not stand a chance against the 300. It's just no match. You know, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. That did not die as fast as I remember it to. Maybe they made some changes to the toughness of the Sambar deer because it seemed like, at least the first one, the second one was tough to tell because we hard shot it, but the first one, it didn't die as quick as I expected it to. It felt just like if I had shot it with the 308 in previous updates. So maybe they made them a little bit tougher. In fact, I got a feeling that they definitely did. Let me know in the comments if you guys remember whether or not they could tank a 300 Magnum round like that before, because it feels like they're a little stronger than they used to be. But either way, they're now class 7. So I would not be surprised if they did make them a little bit tougher to match the class, because that was another thing people complained about, is that they were too weak. So either way, they're definitely suitable for class 7 from that little test there. Man, I'm shocked. I swear I remember them dying faster. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But either way, let's go ahead and check them off the list. And man, we are way past halfway at this point. We're getting close to having them all down. This right here is the next animal that has got a class change. This is the wild boar. We're 165 meters away. Let's take out the trusty 4570 handgun and get lined up on it. We'll 0 to 200 and aim a little low. And there we go. It's dead. That's the end of him. Let's see the damage on this little wild boar. That was, ooh, double lung. Love to see it from 166 meters. Man. And that right there checks the wild boar off the list. So there we have some gray wolves, which are now a class 6 animal, which is a very interesting one. I do like it, though. We're going to go ahead and use the 10 gauge slug on him and just absolutely lay into him. And I think that was vitals. You know, just in case it wasn't, we're going to put another one down and drop maybe a couple more into them if I can. I just need one of them to stop once again. Just like that right there. And yeah, that's the end of her, hopefully. Don't get away! Oh no, I'm hitting wrong ones, but it's okay. It's okay. That's a lot of wolves going down. Okay, so I have not really used this shotgun at all yet. This is one of the first experiences I've had with it. Wow, this thing packs a punch. This is going to be fun to use, man. This is going to be fun to use. I mean, it doesn't do insane with the penetration at 184 meters, but I mean, it still gets the job done. And that means that Grey Wolf are now checked off of the list of animals that we need to take down. Oh, holy crap, what? I just spawned here! Why were they so close to my spawn point? I have never seen that happen before with wolves. That's crazy. Usually it's only crocodiles and gators that don't like despawn, or I guess de-render if you have a tent like on top of them. I guess wolves do it too? What just happened there? That was crazy. Okay, that's just too much fun. That is actually just too much fun. Okay, so we got the second one much better. I mean, that foot shot wasn't great, but you know what I mean. The second shot absolutely destroyed this wolf. And as you can see, these are now a class 6 animal. They used to be class 5, just like the gray wolf, so they did get moved up 1. And the biggest difference is you will now be able to use shotgun slugs from the 10 gauge on these guys. And I think that's about it. I think that's really the only major difference between their old class and their new class. But that's another animal crossed off the list. The Iberian wolf is now completed. So the next animal that got changed is the Gemsbok, and this is going to be one of the more interesting ones because they were moved from class 8 down to class 6. And that means a couple things. You can no longer use the 300 Magnum or the 338 or like any of those larger rifles that are like class 7 to 9. However, one thing you can use, and this is why I say it's going to be interesting, you can use the 243 now. So, I mean, that's what we're going to do. 243 versus Gemsbok. Because this is something you can now do and still get full score. How long is it going to take for this guy to die? I imagine a very long time. Unless I messed up the shot, then he just won't die. Oh, nope, we got the shot. Wow, that's going to take forever. Holy crap. That is going to take so long for him to die. He's down to 25 to 50 now. We got a long trek ahead of us. He is still going after 250 meters of running. And he's still going. His body's nowhere in sight. So I wouldn't recommend using the 243 on a Gemsbok, but you can now if you would like to. There it is. Finally. We finally made it. And as you can see, by the tracks going the other way, it had just stopped running to turn around and go back to its zone. That's how long it took for this thing to die. 800 meter tracking distance. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't use the 243 on Gemsbok, even though you can. It's not going to end well. But that does it for the Gemsbok on the list. Let's go ahead and cross it off. The next species that received a change was the Roosevelt elk. It is no longer a class 8. It is now a class 7, which means that you can shoot it with the 300 Magnum and stuff like that still. But you can also start shooting it with the Mosin if you would like. I really wouldn't recommend shooting elk with the Mosin, like I said previously, but it is an option now if that is something that you wish to do. We're not going to do that, though. We're going to shoot it with the 45-70 single shot. Because this thing just does a whole lot better. I mean, not a ton better, but definitely better than the Mosin would do. So now that we have officially checked the Roosevelt elk off of the list, let's just do that right there. We only have 3 remaining, the bobcat, grizzly bear, and American alligator. I think it's time to go knock those out. So the big change with the American alligator is it went from class 6 to 7. And going from 6 to 7 means that we can now use the 300 Magnum on these guys, including the brand new 300 Magnum AR. So you already know this is just not even going to be fair for the gators anymore. They are going to die so quickly, and it's just going to be great. Let's grab this gator real quick. That is going to be a nice little lung shot there. And then a lung shot on the second one as well. Let's go ahead and check off the American alligator off of our list. This is probably going to be one of the more fun changes that they made with this update in terms of all these classes. These gators, they're already a lot of fun. And I mean, they're going to be even more fun now. The next animal that got a class change is the grizzly bear. They went from 7 to 8, so really not going to be too much changes in what guns people use on them. I mean, most people already use the 300 or the 338, so that's not really going to change. That's pretty much what people are going to continue to do. Although this doesn't seem like too substantial of a change, I do think it was one that was necessary, as a lot of people always pointed out that the grizzly bear is a lot larger than the other bears, so it should be a higher class than what it was. So I think a lot of people are happy about this change right here, though it's not going to change too much gameplay-wise unless you're hunting with a bow or maybe some of the shotguns or handguns. I'm not 100% sure, but it'll definitely change what arrows you can use on them. Now let's cross out the grizzly bear, and that leaves one, the bobcat, which is probably going to be one of the toughest ones to find. This is another one of the animals that was changed, and in fact, it is the final one of the day. That is the bobcat over here on New England mountains. How far away is that? 208, so I probably need to get a little bit closer before taking the shot, as they are quite small. Okay, about 184, that's probably good enough. So these were moved from Class 3 to Class 2, which is really not going to change much again, aside from now you can use the 22 Hornet on them, which actually is going to be kind of fun. Because the 22 Hornet is a very interesting rifle. It's the only rifle caliber in the game that hunts Class 1 and Class 2 animals. So we can finally use that on the Bobcats, which is definitely nice. Because even before they changed the classes, I occasionally would shoot some Bobcats with a 22 Hornet because it did really well on them. So now we can actually use it on them and get full score. This has been quite a fun video to make, guys, but that is going to be it. It's time to check off the final animal, the bobcat. We have now finally hunted every single animal that has been changed in this update. Every animal that got a new class has officially been killed at least one time by us. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This was a fun one to make, and it took quite a bit of time to make, so be sure to hit that like button as well as leaving a comment and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. It means the world to me, and you guys know how much it helps. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.